They're down 50% overall since Caitlin Clark exited with the quadricep injury. The Fever games are down 53% without Caitlin Clark. Do you think the denial is over as it relates from these women that, oh yeah, it's Angel Reese and the league is up as a whole, and it's Caitlin and Angel that have done this? I mean, this always, the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, is another one of these clowns that loves to, well, she did this, and the NBA, the WNBA, we put all these pieces in place to experience all this growth. Caitlin Clark disappears with a quad injury, and the entire league craters ratings. I think this debate is over.
The public verdict is loud and brutal. No Caitlin, no show. That's not me being dramatic. That's what fans are chanting on timelines, in comment sections, and with their emotes. And tonight the numbers finally said the quiet part out loud. The WNBA without Caitlin Clark isn't just taking a dip, it's taking on water. You clicked because you've seen the headlines, felt the temperature, and wondered if the league could keep the momentum going without its biggest draw. Short answer? The bottom is closer than anyone wants to admit, and the clock is louder than it looks. Here's what matters right now, and why.
Look, that commissioner taking credit for the ascension of the league, it's akin to Sasha Vujacic taking credit for the 2 Laker titles in 2009 and 10, okay? But I'm going to go a little different direction than you, Whitlock. Losing half their audience at 50%, this is only half of the loss I thought they'd have. I truly thought that the ratings would actually dip even more. I'm actually surprised they've only lost half of their audience. Here's my question to you, Jason. Should the numbers...
Why it's not just a Twitter argument. With star power sitting on the bench, the league's most bankable matchups are collapsing in viewership in real time. We're not talking about a rounding error or a soft weekend. We're talking about a 36% drop the second the All-Star game didn't have Caitlin, while coverage tried to spin a triple-digit increase by comparing to last year, aka the pre-Caitlin era. Cue the eye roll. And no, the pay us what you owe us shirts didn't age well next to what showed up on the court. The internet noticed. Sponsors noticed. Everyone noticed. And it gets worse, because the marquee rivalry, the one every casual fan can name without Googling, has been bleeding viewers game after game the moment injuries hit. I'll unpack the numbers, the fallout, and the uncomfortable truth about Caitlin's timeline that insiders have been whispering, but here's the blunt confirmation up top. The ratings crash is real, the messaging around her recovery is murky, and the financial pressure to keep hope alive is turning updates into wishful thinking. Stay with me for the receipts, why the officiating mess keeps pouring gasoline on all of this, and the hard question no one in the league office wants asked out loud. If the casuals walk away now, do they ever come back? Let's start with the second best story because it sets the stage. The ratings trail of breadcrumbs. First Fever, Sky Showdown of the season? A hit. About 2.7 million average viewers on ABC, peaking at roughly 3.1 million. A real broadcast win. Up triple digits versus last year's ABC season average. Everyone ate. The rivalry had a clean hook, the storylines were spicy, and casual sports fans finally had a reason to plan a Sunday around women's hoops without being told to do it. Then reality tapped the brakes. The rematch slid to around 1.9 million. Third meeting, about 1.5 million. Still strong by historical standards, but the trend line had a frown. And with both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese sidelined for the latest chapter, the number dropped to roughly 1.31 million, now the least watched of the recent Chicago, Indiana slate, and barely above the Fever's average national TV audience. Put that in perspective, a preseason exhibition with the Fever and Brazil pulled about the same. Preseason. That's not just erosion, that's a sinkhole, and it opens up exactly where you'd expect, where the star isn't. Now hold that thought, because the league-wide picture is even more sobering. Without Caitlin on the board, other nationally available games landed in the low six figures. We're talking around 180,000 for Sun, Aces, about 160,000 for Dream, Mercury. On paper, those are numbers, sure. On a ledger, they're warnings. If the growth were anywhere near as unstoppable as the loudest voices insist, these hits would be closer to 300K on a bad day. They weren't. And this is where the expectation versus reality gap starts to glow neon. Expectation. Momentum is self-sustaining. Reality. Momentum has a name tag, a jersey number, and a commitment from broadcast partners that looks very different when she's not in the lineup. All of that sets up the strongest point in this whole saga, and it's not just about viewership. It's about trust. Fans are noticing that status updates around Caitlyn's recovery feel slippery. Game time decision, posted on a graphic, followed by the head coach acknowledging she hasn't been in full practice yet. That phrasing isn't random. It's a nudge to keep hope alive for buyers on the fence. It's a signal to casuals that maybe, just maybe, she'll suit up tonight. Because the minute people know for sure she's out, you don't just lose eyeballs, you lose ticket exchanges, road trip plans, and a chunk of weekend revenue for teams and host cities. And when the TV numbers look like they've looked lately, there's every incentive to keep the question mark hovering as long as possible. Meanwhile, what do we actually know? We know she's looked fine in a few casual clips, moving around, even knocking a soccer ball back and forth, but looking fine and being cleared for the grind of pro basketball are two different sports. We know insiders around the team have suggested several weeks, and several doesn't mean 1 or 2. We know the regular season calendar isn't a friendly partner. Less than a month left is not a big runway. We know the coaching staff has said she hasn't been doing full work with the team, which means conditioning,